But that's not a book of narrations, in the sense that that book doesn't come with us today, which is used as a book of narrations. The book of narrations are those four, and they are seen as being the earliest works and narrations. Do the Shia have a book called Sahih? No, they don't. So in contrast to Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, the Shia believe that any book is open to examination except the Quran. Every other book, you have to check through the chains before coming to an understanding of reliability. Within Al-Kafi, you may find narrators who later research found that some of them were fabricators, and therefore if a narration within Al-Kafi contradicts the Quran, the narration cannot be taken. Okay, question here, Surah An-Nisa, verse 105 and 6. Allah instructs the Prophet, we have sent down to you the book in truth, that you might judge between men, as guided by Allah. So don't be used as an advocate by those who betray their trust, but seek the forgiveness of Allah, for Allah is oft forgiving. There's different interpretations as to why the verse was revealed, but amongst the general interpretations is that you found that the Prophet would be entering alliances with whom? He'd be entering alliances with the people of Arabia. Some of these people would try as much as possible to try and get allowances for themselves which go against the teachings of the religion of Islam. And you found that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, continue to judge by that which we reveal to you. Don't be used as an advocate by those who betray the trust. Seek forgiveness. Seeking forgiveness does not only mean that you sin. The word ighfir has four meanings in the Arabic language. One of them, seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which means in any decision you make, when you judge between the people of Arabia, make sure you judge by seeking the protection of Allah. Some translate it literally by saying seek forgiveness, as in the Prophet had made a mistake in the way he was making decisions, and he had to ask Allah for forgiveness. Whereas another opinion is the opinion of seeking protection. The opinion comes from the story of Nabi Musa, which we mentioned earlier, when he says, Rabbi ighfirli. Ighfirli in this story doesn't mean forgive me, it means, Ya Allah, protect me from the people of Fir'aun. So therefore the word forgiveness has different meanings. Can you suggest some books that are easily available for Sunnis to read to get the Shia perspective? It depends which area you're interested in. Because I don't want to recommend a book to you and it might not be your chosen area. If whoever's asked the question wants to be specific, I can recommend certain good books. If you want to start at a really basic level, let's just say basic beliefs, Sayyid Mustafa al-Qazwini, Imam of Orange County, has a good series of books which have just been published, 3 books relating to the Shia. They've all just been published. I think they're excellent works. In terms of other books, if you're looking for discussions about Shia Sunni, discussions on Imamat and Khilafah and Asma and so on, there is a book called Al-Muraja'at. Al-Muraja'at. It's a dialogue between one of the heads of the house of the seminary of the Shia world with one of the heads of Al-Azhar. They wrote letters to each other discussing every single area. It's available on the internet. Al-Muraja'at by Sayyid Sharafuddin al-Musawi. In terms of books on history, on the, like a perspective on the early period, there's a book written by Ali Asghar Razawi. Ali Asghar Razawi. And the book is called A Restatement of the History of Islam. Ali Asghar Razawi, A Restatement of the History of Islam. He uses non-Shia and academic sources only in his arguments. If you want a book which is a purely academic discussion about the succession to the Prophet Muhammad, there's a book called The Succession to Muhammad. Yeah. And the book is by Wilfred Madelung, professor at Oxford. Discussion over the early differences on the caliphate through traditional and academic sources. Those hopefully will be helpful to you. Okay, regarding occultation, so God himself revealed the condition of Jesus. How do you know the condition of the Imam? Well, God himself doesn't reveal the condition of Jesus in the occultation. There's not one verse in the Quran which says what Jesus is doing now. It's all in the narratives. Likewise, the narratives are there from the earliest traditions, earliest books of traditions, which come forward and state what the Mahdi is doing within the occultation. Different narratives come forward from the Imams, notably Ja'far al-Sadiq, when he talks about that when the Mahdi is in the occultation, amongst his roles will be, he will help those people who are lost on a journey. Amongst his roles is that he will be at Hajj every year. And amongst his roles as well is to be at the funeral of every believer who passes away. In the sense that every pious believer, now pious doesn't mean a million of them, because we all claim to be pious, yet we've all got faults. There's only a few of us who are truly sincere. And so amongst the narrations they say that that is one of his roles. Another of his roles is that he helps the scholars in answering the questions of the time. And so these come from the narratives about what his role is in the period of occultation. Likewise, we have narratives about the role of Jesus, son of Mary, the role of Idris, the role of Prophet Khidr, about what they are doing in occultation as well. It's the narratives which are the main corpus which discuss what is happening during the occultation. The Shiites break their fast at a different time, a long time after the Maghrib. Why? Believe me, I'm gagging as much as you are to eat, you know, so don't think I enjoy breaking the fast. A long time, I think the word long is a bit, let's just say 10 minutes after the Maghrib. What's Maghrib? Well, it depends on which scholar of jurisprudence you follow. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل. What's the difference between the word غسق and the word shafaq? Does it say shafaq al-layl or ghasaq al-layl? If it said shafaq, it means that there is still light, there is still redness. If it means ghasaq, it means darkness. And so the idea within Shia jurisprudence is that there has to be complete darkness for Maghrib to be confirmed. And that's the difference in opinion. Number two, why do the second Khalifa Ammar al-Faruq and Uthman ibn Affan are cursed by Shia? Once again, and I'll repeat again, if you are a Shia who curses, it's not allowed in Shia thought. I'm not going to represent splinter groups who curse. I'm saying, what's the word curse in Arabic? The word sab. Quran says, وَلَا تَسُبُّهُ. Ali ibn Abi Talib, in the Battle of Siffin, some of his companions began to curse Muawiyah. He said, I do not like that my followers are those who curse. If there are Shia who do this, this cursing is not allowed in Islamic thought. I think that's all the questions here. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today, and I'd like to thank Noor and the whole MSA in working on this area. And hopefully this will be the first of many times we meet each other, and I hope we've answered all your questions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.